guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I am going to be showing you guys a little tutorial using the new Too Faced white chocolate chip palette. So I was actually pretty surprised I was able to get my hands on this. I am not a Sephora VIB Rouge member, I am a Sephora VIB. This palette has not technically released yet. There was a limited pre-release available to VIB Rouge members, I think on the Sunday before Cyber Monday, and then it was very limitedly released to, I think, VIBs or to everyone on Cyber Monday. And I happened to just get the notification in my Sephora app that this palette was available, so I went and bought it, and within 15-20 minutes it was completely sold out. So this is going to be launching in Sephora stores to everybody, I believe on December 14th. So you will be able to get it, and I just wanted to show you guys before it launches you know, what the eyeshadows look like and what they actually look like on your eyes. So this is what the palette looks like, and you get 11 shades. It's in the same sort of setup as the original Too Faced Chocolate Bar palette, but everything is in miniature. They're supposed to have the same formula as the Chocolate Bar palette, and they smell as amazing as the original Chocolate Bar palette. I don't know if this one is more of a white chocolate scent than a traditional chocolate scent. It does smell a bit sweeter to me, but that might just be me. I cannot totally verify that information. This palette retails for $26, so it is a little pricey for how much you're getting. This is obviously a pretty small palette compared to the full-sized version, but you do get 11 fun little shades in here. There's a variety of glitters, of metallics, and mattes, so you get a lot of different finishes, and all of the shades are sort of like soft neutrals, pastels. It's very like light and shimmery for the holiday season. So I am doing a full review on this palette with swatches and my thoughts on the value and everything, and that will be on my blog. I will link it for you guys in the description box down below, but in today's video I mainly wanted to just show you how they apply on the eyes, because swatches are not always necessarily indicative, especially when you're doing them with your fingers, of what the product will look like with a brush on your eyes. So without me rambling on too much more about this palette, I'm going to zoom you guys a little bit closer so we can play with this on the eyes and see what they look like. Alright, so I'm going to start out by priming my eyes with the Too Faced Shadow Insurance Primer. This is something I do for pretty much all of my eyeshadow looks, so I want to make sure that I stay consistent with this palette, doing it the same way I would do any other makeup look. So I'm just going to pat this onto my eyelids. And I'll usually give that like 30 seconds just to dry down a little bit. So I think I'm going to start in my crease with, I think I'm going to use the shade down here in the bottom left corner. This is called Cake Batter. So I'm just going to go in with my Luxie Small Tapered Blending Brush. And so you can see like this does kick up a fair amount of powder. It is a matte shadow, so I feel like that is something that tends to happen. And we're just going to start buffing this into the crease. I feel like a lot of people were knocking this palette for the shadows not being pigmented. I don't think that that is the case. I think it's just that the shades themselves are very light. So if you have a like light medium complexion, these are going to show up a little bit less on your skin because they're going to be closer to your natural skin tone. So they may appear less pigmented on your skin, but it doesn't mean that the shadows themselves are actually not pigmented, if you get what I'm saying. So next I'm going to go all over the lid, I think, with this shade in the top right of the palette. This is the shade Exotica. This is a really beautiful sort of shimmery metallic shade. So I'm just taking a like small flat definer brush, and I'm going to pat this all over the lid. And this just gives a nice like bit of sparkle. It's very light and bright. And with this kind of shadow, you really want to like press it on and not so much like blend it in a windshield wiper motion like you would with a matte shadow, because you really want to build up the intensity of the pigment, not blend it away. Now, all of these shadows are relatively soft and pastel, so you're not going to be able to get as much depth as you would with a traditional eyeshadow palette, but I'm going to try to add a little bit in the outer corner. I'm going to go in with this shade here, which seems a little bit darker. This is the shade Cookie Dough. I'm going to go back with my small taper blending brush, and I'm just going to kind of blend this a little bit into the outer corner of the eye. This is slightly cooler toned than Cake Batter, and it also has like a very like tiny hint of shimmer in it. It's actually not totally matte, but the shimmer is really fine and it doesn't like come across metallic the way the other shadow does. I'm going to take another fluffy brush. This is my NYX blending brush, and I'm going to go in with the top shade here, which is the shade Glaze, just to highlight the brow bone a little bit. So as you can see, like this kind of look is very, very soft, very neutral. Really all of this palette is gonna give you that kind of look. The black here, we're gonna go in a minute to add a little bit of definition around the lash line. But like as you can see, the shadows in this palette are not really varied in terms of depth of color. Like you have some interesting different finishes, but they're all pretty soft and pastel, which is what Too Faced was going after. It is a white chocolate chip palette, so it was meant to be a very like light, soft, shimmery palette. So that may not be everyone's cup of tea. I'm gonna show you guys one other thing though, just to kind of give you a feel for like these two shades here have a little bit more of like a chunky metallic finish, but not chunky necessarily in a bad way. So for that type of shade, I would recommend using a glitter glue just to kind of give the shadows their best shot of sticking around and showing up. And I really, really like this one from Too Faced. So rather than like a traditional eye primer that we would put all over the lids, we're just gonna put this on top of our existing eyeshadow exactly where we want the like glittery pigment to stick. So I'm going to put this just in the center of the lid here. I'm just gonna pat it on. I'm gonna do that on the same side, or the same thing on the other side, I mean. And then I'm gonna take a flat, stiff brush, and I'm gonna go in with the shade. I think we're gonna go in with the shade Indulge here. And I'm gonna pick up a little bit of this on my brush, and I'm gonna pat this on top of that glitter, or glitter glue. This is gonna also help you to avoid fallout. Like this is going to keep it locked in place. And it lets you really like build up the pigment, because something that has a lot of glittery particles, like it kind of needs something to stick to. If you just put it on your eye without any kind of a primer or base, or like without wetting your brush, I feel like you're gonna get a lot of fallout and you're not gonna get a lot of payoff. And it's not necessarily really the shadow's fault as much as just kind of what you're doing to prep for that particular type of pigment. So you can see like that definitely adds a lot of sparkle. It's a very like intense metallic shiny finish, which is really, really pretty. I'm gonna go back in with my blending brush just to kind of amp up that transition again a little bit. I'm gonna go back in with Cake Batter just to blend out the edges a little bit. And then using a pointed brush, I'm gonna go in with a shade over here. This is Pearl Candy. This is like a really light white frosty shade, and we're just gonna place that right in the inner corner of the eye. And that'll just like brighten things up a little bit. So as for this black shade over here, I'm going to clean off my pencil brush, and I'm gonna go in with the black, and we're gonna use this to kind of just add a little definition to the lash line, kind of make things just a little bit smoky. So I'm gonna do this almost like I was gonna be applying eyeliner, and keep it really close to the lashes. And bring it under the lower lash line too. Like you could easily skip this step if you wanted to keep things sort of light, bright, more daytime, but this is a nice, easy way to kind of amp up the glam, make this look a little bit more nighttime appropriate. And I'm actually gonna keep the black kind of like to the outer 2/3. I'm not gonna bring it all the way in, because if you take the black all the way in towards the inner corner, it is gonna make your eye look a little bit smaller, and I just want my lash line to look fuller, which it's naturally fuller on the outer part of your eye, so that's why I'm gonna kind of keep the shadow over there. If you feel like things in the lower lash line are looking a little bit harsh, you can go back in with the Cake Batter shade and use that to blend as a transition with the black. Alright, so I'm just gonna curl my lashes, add on a little bit of my mascara, and I'll be right back. And this is the completed look. So I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. I hope you found it helpful, and I hope that it gives you a little bit of a better idea of what these eyeshadows perform like, what they look like. I do think that the quality of the shadows is good. I think the mattes are very blendable and buttery. I think the pigmentation is good. It does have a bit of fallout. It does kick up a bit of powder, but you just need to tap off your brush for any excess. And if you're going to use the very glittery metallic shades, I would recommend either wetting your brush with some kind of setting spray or applying them on top of a glitter glue to help to keep that glitter from falling out and to build up the intensity more. But that's something that I would recommend with any eyeshadow formula like that. If you enjoyed this tutorial, please make sure you give this video a thumbs up. I really, really appreciate your support. And if you're new to my channel, make sure you click that subscribe button before you go. Also, now there is a little bell next to the subscribe button. The bell will make it so that you get notified whenever one of my new videos goes live. They're not doing that if you do not turn on notifications, so if you want to make sure you don't miss my future content, make sure you click that little bell as well. So thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you check out that review post if you want to see swatches of the full palette, my price, comparison, breakdown, all that good stuff. It will be in that post, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.